Hi, this is Jerry with ilovervlife, and Joan and I determined a long time ago we needed an ice maker to use when we travel because just getting ice never popped up at the most convenient time. Plus, we like that soft, crunchy ice. Freezimer contacted us and said, we've got a 36-pound unit. That's what this is, all stainless steel. They said, would you like to try it? I went, absolutely. It's Jerry. Joan and I don't go crazy over a lot of appliances to use in our RV for a number of reasons. We don't have a place to put them, and sometimes it's just that thing you use once or twice, and it just takes up space, and it's just not something that's just really applicable to our RV travel. But what we did find that was just absolutely a necessary item for us was an ice maker. We avoided those for a couple years, and it was just never convenient. You always ran out of ice when you needed it the most. You'd have to get in and drive to the store, and a lot of times the ice would be old and just this solid block of frozen lump, and we just always hated that. So an ice maker was absolutely incredible. We bought one, we used it for a long time. Freezimer contacted us and said, we've got a 33-pound unit that we would like for you to try. This is it. It's 33 pounds. It doesn't weigh too much. All stainless steel. It is a big unit, and we had a little teeny unit that made small amounts of ice. We wanted something that would make larger volumes of ice, so we just didn't have to use it that often. What we do is just we let it run for several hours, make up a good sized batch. We've just got a small little tray that we keep inside the freezer, and we've always got nice fresh ice for our beverages while we're out traveling, and we don't have to go anywhere. We're using our water that we know has been filtered, and it's good clean water. We can make a batch or two, and that's going to deal for quite a few days before we have to pull it back out of the counter and then make another batch. So this does large cubes, small cubes with very large capacity. It has a self-cleaning option. Let's look at this unit a little bit closer, and I think you're going to like it. I'd like to show you some of the features of this unit. Again, I shared that this is all stainless steel construction. One of the things that we really like about this is just the large basket, a very, very large basket for ice production. Equally a large water well. There's an indentation here that shows the fill mark. I would say a couple quarts of water, maybe 3 quarts of water that will fill this up. And then the ice production will get fairly large right up to here. When we look at the functions that we have here, I'll cover that green button just for a second. This is large, small, and cleaning. That's all done by selecting this select mode, which one of these that you want to do. We're going to make large ice, small ice. We'll also show the cleaning function of this as well. This is your start once you have one of these modes selected. This will blink when it's in a standby mode, and once you start making ice, this will turn green. If you were to run out of water, this red light comes on, and it will stop making ice once it gets up to about this height here, and then this red light will come on. So it's very feature rich. I really like that as well. When we turn this on, we'll see how loud it is. I don't think it's going to be very loud, but it's a very well built ice maker. All right, we'll put this through the clean cycle. I'm going to take this tray out, and then we'll fill this reservoir with water. And it's just this simple. We'll go to our select mode. We're going to put it in clean and hit start. And it will start cycling water through the unit. This just goes for a few minutes, and then once the process is complete, it will put itself back into a pause mode. So let's let it get finished with this, and we'll start making ice. When the cleaning function's done, this starts blinking again. So it was solid while it was cleaning. Now it's blinking, and no particles or anything in here. It's very simple to clean this up now. We'll just take this over to the side. There's a little plug here that we pull, and we'll drain that, get all the water out. We have the unit running. You might can hear the fan. It's not very loud. We're going to run this in two different fashions. First of all, we're going to start with the large ice cubes. And we're going to make a couple different batches of those, just to kind of put this unit through its paces. What we would typically do, that is what we would take to the beach. We would put that in one of those 6-pack or 12-pack coolers, make 1 or 2 batches of that, dump them in there, keep our beverages cool while we're down at the beach. And those larger cubes will last a little bit longer. Now for our beverages, we like the small cubes for a couple reasons. One, we like to chew on them, and the nice thing about these ice makers, they make a nice, crunchy, easy to chew ice for those of us who like to do that type of thing. But we'll make several batches of that. Again, 33 pounds a lick, so I think this is going to be pretty cool. We're going to, this is what we would put in the freezer. That would last us for a couple days. And then after that couple days, if we need to make another batch, we can do that whenever we need it. So we're going to kind of let this run. This is going to go on for several days. So I'm going to make this big batch. We'll see how that does. Sure, it's going to change as you see us going through the paces here. And we're just going to kind of put this thing through just a practical application of how we would use it on the road. Okay, here we go. These portable ice makers are so easy to operate. You'll pull this out. You can't really make it out here in the video, but right here is an emboss and it says max. This will be your max fill line. You don't want the water coming up to the bottom of this. It'll, it just deteriorates the ice. So don't exceed that fill mark. And we will put a big old pitcher of water in here. We're going to fill this thing up to the max line. There we go. Max line is right there. All right. Again, we like to use some cool water to give this thing a good start. We're going to start off with large cubes. So you can't really make out the lights here in the video, but this is large ice, small ice, and clean. We've already cleaned the unit. And it's just really this simple. You hit the button. And that will go from blinking to solid. And there's a fan that is located here on the side. You can hear it. It's not that loud. You can hear me speaking. That fan will run. And it's not too distracting. Depending on where you put this, we could move it here, or if we just didn't want that, we have a coffee bar over there. We could kind of set it out of the way. But usually we'll just set it on one of the corners of the cabinet. Now this is going to run for a couple hours. Now one of the things you can hear is it will start filling the water up, and what it does is kind of start a pre-chill process. Those little anodes, for lack of a better name, have gotten very, very cold, and it will kind of pre-cool the water and fill those little cups, and then it will spin and dump until it fills up. All right, so I've got a timer set, and we're going to see how long it's going to take to fill this tray up with large cubes. We've started the second day using the Freezimer 2200 Portable Ice Maker. The results have been really quite well. We've made 3 batches. We ran it one day for half a day and made it completely full, and we're letting the unit completely fill up to verify that the auto pause works, and it does. And then we ran it a second day, creating 2 batches, about a little over 3 hours each time. We've made 3 batches of these large cubes, and what we did all 3 times, after roughly about 3 hours, 3.5 hours, somewhere thereabout, it fills up. And then you can see here it has an ice indicator. It says it's full. You don't necessarily have to wait this long, but we did, just to make sure it worked that way. And it starts flashing, and it's making these big cubes. You can see these really large, big ice cubes. Really, really nice. If you like those in your glass, those do a fantastic job. I'm going to go ahead and put this on pause, or it'll start trying to make again when I pull this out. Now here's what I wanted to share with you. I mean, this basket, look at the basket, it's huge. And then this is the tray out of our refrigerator here. Sorry for that noise. It's the tray for our refrigerator. Just after about 3 hours, this gives us something that's a little over half full. We could do 2 of these in a day. At this stage with the large cubes, and then have enough ice to get us through for 3 or 4 days, maybe even longer. But and it's that nice chewing ice. I really like that. So it just goes right into the refrigerator. Okay, so that's just 3 of those. This is the third of those. I didn't show you the first 2.
It worked out great. It's relatively quiet.
Now, the reason that we did it in that fashion, the ice makers that we've used in the past, if they run 6, 7, 8 hours, sometimes the quality of the ice starts getting thinner and is just not as good. We have not experienced that with the Freezimer. It's made very nice, large, consistent ice through the whole process. And a batch of ice is really quite large. 2 batches is far more than we can even put in our freezer in the container that we have. Now, we're going to go with the smaller cube. I'm going to do the exact same process. I'm going to go for about 2 days and just make a lot of ice. Again, I want to see how this unit's going to perform over an extended period of time. Now with the smaller cubes, it will not make that in a full basket in 3 hours. We'll see how long it takes to do those, just because the cubes are smaller and it will take more to fill up the basket. So we'll see how long that takes. So we're going to run it, it's midday, we'll run it for a full batch today, and then we'll run it all day tomorrow. And I'll show you the results of one of the batches just to show you what the size of the ice looks like once we completely fill it up.
So I've got it on small cubes. It's not as small as what I had expected. They look very similar to the large cube. I'm going to turn this off. Let me pour them out of here in the tray and just see what it looks like. I did that with the large. Yep, these pretty much look the same size as the large, even though the small. So I'm going to power it down and see what happens. Still a good looking ice. These are very nice looking ice cubes. Made this in about 3 hours. And then before storage, what I just recommend is just taking a clean paper towel and just getting any remaining water out of the unit here. And then leave the lid up for just a few hours and just let it dry. That way you don't have to worry about any type of a buildup or anything growing inside these units. Again, we've been using these style of portable ice makers for several years, and we've come up with just a couple tips. And, you know, just again, paper towel, just, you know, get most of the reserved water out of it. We really like this Freezimer IM2200 model ice maker for a couple reasons. One, the ice capacity is substantial. This is a very large basket. We have by a different manufacturer, a smaller ice maker that we've been using for about 1.5 years. And the basket is a little less than half this size. And what ends up happening is you're just continuing to run ice all day, every day, especially in the hot summer months when you tend to use a lot of ice in your glasses or you're putting them in a small cooler. This has 2 settings for your ice. I showed that in the video, a large and a small. What we found was the small cubes were about 80% smaller. They're not little teeny cubes. I don't have a problem with that. What we found is those smaller cubes, especially in the other ice maker, melt so quick that we're just continually making ice all the time. So we can make ice, and this runs about 3 hours, approximately 3 hours, and it completely fills that basket up. And then we store it in our freezer, and we have a container in the freezer, and it completely fills that up. Again, we're good for about 3 days plus, depending on our ice usage. We really like the unit. It's not very noisy. It has worked flawlessly for the past week. And again, some of the days that we ran it, 3 or 4 of those days, I just really wanted to put this thing through a bit of a stress. I ran it for 9 hours once and twice at 6 hours, made a lot of ice. And just to see if the quality of the ice changed on those long periods of time, it did not. It sustained the cube for quite a long time. When I first started this, it was a bit warmer. We've got a chill now, and I wanted to get the camper warm. I think I got it up to about 90 degrees one day. The sun was beating on it. What we have found with other units is that when the heat builds up and it's very, very hot, the cube production is not as good as quality. And what we found, even in the hot camper, if you were to set this, say, outside and you were using it on a table or something like that, you didn't have the space on the inside. We noticed that the quality did not change even though the temperature inside the camper got much, much warmer. Very, very pleased with this unit. So we're really looking forward to using this Freezimer IM2200 over the next year. It was really a good unit. So if you would like to consider getting one of these, I'm going to provide an Amazon link for you in the description of this video, or I'd like to encourage you to go out to ilovervlife.com. You will see the blog for today along with the associated video and a little bit more information about this unit, and I will have purchase links for this as well if you'd like to consider buying it. You buy these off Amazon, and if you've got Prime, that's a good thing too. I'd like to thank Freezimer for providing this unit for us to evaluate. I like doing these types of product reviews, trying to find products, appliances, and those types of things that work really, really well in RV travel. And this is another one of those that I think benefits well for Joan and I. I think it may provide good service and good product for you as well. We love doing these evaluations, and yes, I love RV life too.